everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today I have a quick video about the first episode of Season 3, Star Trek Picard, titled The Next Generation. Yep, they went with that title and I love it. Now, this episode, there wasn't too many of the TNG cast in the episode, mainly it was just Beverly Crusher, who was great to see back, Riker, and quite obviously Picard. I mean, you couldn't really have Star Trek Picard without, you know, Jean-Luc Picard himself. This episode, as I said, was just phenomenal in so many ways. We got to see what Beverly's been up to, kind of, since the end of Star Trek Nemesis, with her being on the USS Helios, which was a very small ship, similar in size to the NX class, so not quite sure what was going on there, although she is now trapped, thanks to being attacked by the main villain of the show, Captain Vadic, on the Shrike. And then, of course, we see Jean-Luc actually getting ready to move away from Chateau Picard to another planet with Laris, who is back. Yes, I was so happy to see Laris back, but also I've got a horrible feeling we're not going to see her again until episode 10. Ouch. But I'm glad to know that she's still alive and is back. Thank God. Speaking of Chateau Picard, we did get a lot of Easter eggs in Picard's living room, with the main one that I nearly cried at being the Resican flutes from The Inner Light, arguably one of the best episodes of The Next Generation, and frankly, most people tend to agree with that. I know I sure as hell do. Of course, Jean-Luc does eventually get the distress call from Beverly saying, yeah, Jean-Luc, I've been attacked, I'm really injured, I need help, please come to these coordinates, although they are slightly off, but will Commander Riker, well, Captain Riker, manages to get around them by getting the reference that she made to a thing called Hellbird, which was a virus that attacked the Enterprise during the Battle of Wolf 359, and he was able to alter the coordinates correctly to show the Wrighton system, which is just outside of Federation space. And Will has an idea. Contact the captain of the USS Titan, which used to command after the original Titan seemingly got destroyed or decommissioned. However, this captain isn't a very nice person. In fact, if I'm being fully blunt, I don't quite know how he made it to captain. He isn't Starfleet captain material at all, so I'm not quite sure how he made captain, but thankfully his first officer is a lot more reasonable, and it is none other than 7 of 9, and yes, I'm calling her that because screw you, Captain Shaw, for dead naming her, because yes, he said to 7, I would rather call you Annika Hansen, which is of course her pre-Borg name, which she has chosen to scrap in favour of remaining 7 of 9, but Captain Shaw, for some reason, isn't on board with that. That isn't really his decision to make, so that's an instant down for Captain Shaw in my book. Now, we do see that Captain Shaw throughout this episode is quite disrespectful, as well as when Captain Riker and Admiral Picard went on board the Titan, he wasn't even there to greet them, and when he did meet them in the ready room, he didn't even stand up for them, so he has little to no respect for either of them, which frankly, in my opinion, is just abysmal. Like, you are literally in front of the former captain and first officer of 2 Starship Enterprises, and you don't even bother to stand up for them? Wow. I was in shock of his complete disrespect for those two. And then, of course, he insults Seven's Borg origins to her face in front of Picard, which, of course, being an ex-Borg himself, kind of set him off in a bit of a furious rage, which, understandable. Yeah, Captain Shaw really didn't do much in this episode to gain any favour with anyone. Eventually, Captain Shaw says, no, we will not go to the Wrighton system, screw you. And then, while he's asleep, 7 of 9 changes his orders and actually does take them to the Wrighton system. And before this, we do discover the helms officer of the Titan being Sydney LaForge, Geordie's daughter, and I was beyond happy to see that. It was very much a callback to Star Trek Generations when Kirk met Demora Sulu for the first time in a very long time, so I was very happy to see that that happened. But there was another story arc in this episode with Commander Musica. Yep, Raffi's back, and is still in Starfleet despite her lie at the start of her arc. Now, throughout this episode, we do see that Raffi is on another planet, seemingly relapse into a drug addiction, unfortunately, but that is all a ruse. In fact, she is currently trying to prevent an attack on the Federation, and the only information she gets from her Orion drug dealer is something about a Red Lady. And throughout the episode, she's mowing through Starfleet's computers trying to figure out what this Red Lady is, and eventually she finds it, but just a little too late. It is a statue being unveiled of Captain Rachel Garrett of the Enterprise C. And unfortunately, she arrives at this Starfleet base a little bit too late, as it's kind of sucked into the ground and then is dropped back onto the ground. It was like a portal gun from the Portal games sort of situation. It was really weird, and Raffi was a little bit worried. But of course, at the end of the episode, we do see Riker and Picard head to the USS Helios, go on board, and of course, Riker is held by gunpoint by the other member of the crew, who it turns out is Beverly Crusher's son. And then the Shrike shows back up, and then the episode ends. Okay, what a phenomenal start to this series. It was absolutely perfect in near enough every sense of the word. Like, I was so happy to see it, and of course, I've got to talk about the end credits real quick. The first Contact theme, oh my god. That nearly had me crying. I would just love to say that we now know the Enterprise A is in the Starfleet Museum at Earth Space Dock, along with the Excelsior, which was also incredible to see. And I think the Defiant was there as well, so that's also, well, obviously that's going to be the Defiant A, because the original Defiant was blown to bits in the Dominion War. But a lot of cool things to see in this episode. So many Easter eggs, I can't even count them all. But yeah, that is going to do it for my video on my thoughts of the first episode of Star Trek Picard, Season 3, titled The Next Generation. So please, like this video, subscribe to mine and Roxanne's channel. Her link is in the description. My sub button is down there. Yeah, please click both our sub buttons, then bell icons, to get both sets of notifications. Comment as well, because why the heck not? Let me know what you thought of this episode, and what you think's going to happen in next week's. Once you've done that too, please follow me on all my social medias. There'll be a link tree in the description. Below that's going to be Roxanne's website. And lastly, please do share this video with all of your friends so they can join the infinite loop of liking, subscribing, commenting, following, and sharing, and around and around and around that loop. I'll see you guys tomorrow with another video. Live long and prosper.